The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100. Now, let me tell you, today was a pretty big twist or a little bit of a plot twist when it comes to the stock market. We saw PCE data come out flat and basically at expectations on headline and core. This was pretty great for the market, considering the Fed Powell says this is the most important data pool when it comes to resetting what's happening with inflation and cutting rates overall. And this puts us in a really good position, especially to get maybe to that cutting position into summer as well. Now, this leads us still with a little bit of a runway and things that we need to handle going into the summer. But of course, the market loved this action. Immediately, we saw buyers step in. We're still in a little bit of a range when we look at what's happening with NQ, but I do believe if we get over this one key level, it will happen very quickly, which is when we push into all-time highs. I'm not saying inflation's handled. I'm not saying this is the absolute tippity bottom, right? Where we're still pushing highs, right? So I do think there's still obstacles on the line, but overall, like I said, PC comes out decent, the Fed will find an excuse to stay bullish, right? To really keep that narrative and driving the strength of the economy like they have been doing, and they did it once again. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is jump into NQ. Now, if you don't have these levels drawn on your chart, I would recommend doing so. They've all followed almost to a T. Now, earlier this morning, I did highlight that we were basically just still trading in a range. We had a really nice breakup on the news of PC data. You shot up to our level of 1807. You rejected, got below each level, and slowly moved down, in which you bottomed around 1030, then proceeded to move back to the upside. But really ending the day kind of where we started. Now, I will say this is still a great overall close. Now, the S&P futures were a little bit more interesting here, right? You push right back into our level, 4107 roughly. You get rejected before then, you push back down, you find a bottom, push back up. Now, I'll say again, you reject there at 5107, and then you kind of come back a little bit, and we end the day near 5100. Now, again, what I do want to highlight is going to something like the 4-hour chart here. And as you can see, when we look at our levels, it's very, very clear here. You can see this little bit of a high that we had 5107 right there and there. So you can see in the downtrend that was playing out. Now, overnight, when we had that news this morning, you broke out of this specific channel, pushing to the upside. Now, again, I could argue on the day that we kind of just formed like a 2-hour, 4-hour bear flag here. Now, the wicks are pretty disgusting, but you can still kind of see how we're playing out there. But again, what did we say yesterday? If you get over 51.7, you are pushing into all-time highs. So again, all you're looking for here tomorrow is getting above 51.07, and the push will be very, very easy. And NQ as well, right? There's no reason to really, get confused here. Over 1807, you push back into highs, just like you did right here. You tested it, you rejected, you got above, push into highs. So that's all you're looking at here. Dow looks very strong as well, continuing the run. Again, you just need to hold above 39K. Really, what you want to get above here is around 39.18. You get above that, you're cooking as well, pushing back into highs. Dow was the maybe trickiest of the indexes on the day. So that's the biggest thing that we're looking at there. Going into SPY, as you can see here, you didn't even retest your level down here, worth mentioning. You kind of just based here near 505. You're trying to push back up as well. What I like to see here is just basing above 509, and then you're going to push back into highs. Going into Qs, again, what you're looking for here is basing above basically 439, the 439 range. You get above that, you're easily cruising back into highs, as you can see there. Some great candles that established here as well. You could even argue, again, it's really, it's kind of ugly because you didn't make a little bit of a low. You have like a little flat top established here. You start mounting above 440, 439, you're going to be cruising, and buyers will step in aggressively. So this is also going to roll back into some of the areas of the market that we've been watching and tracking as far as semiconductors. NVIDIA, and I'm going to go into these more here in a little bit, but once we start seeing semiconductors push up, right? NVIDIA, AVGO, today we saw AMD go berserk, right? When they do, I think that's when in the NQ and the Nasdaq goes berserk, and that's what I'll be watching for specifically. Now, the DXY, we look at oil, gas, and what's happening with yields, etc. I anticipate yields to continue to slow down. We have a little bit of data in the morning, but I think PCE was the big one, right? We have Michigan data reports tomorrow as well. But the things that I'm watching right now is, can yields and the DXY get back into our range, which we're going to discuss here in a second? And can the market just hold on basically into May? Because if the market can just hold on and not dip, which I will say, if we look at all these sell sides that we've had, it's been pathetic. You have no follow through from sellers. I don't know where they're at. I've been begging to find them. I wish we could get the downside. It would be awesome. We'd have extreme volatility, but you're not getting it. So again, it's like I always say, watch the key levels and just play the key levels. It's all you have to do in this market right now because the levels are just guiding you back and forth. Now today you didn't have too many great setups except like AMD, or into the end of the day you had a few setups there. But besides that, it was pretty negligible. So I will say this. Remain patient, wait for breakouts above these levels, and that's where you're going to get most of your action. If you want to trade in those ranges, just understand your risk is a lot higher compared to everything else. So that's how I'm viewing this, and that's how I'm attacking this market. Also, too, tomorrow morning, just to let you guys know, Discord spots will open tonight, technically at midnight. So there will be spots available if you're interested. Just to let you know, it's first come, first serve. I believe we're opening 15 total spots, so taking advantage of it while you can. They'll be open until they fill out. So what we're going to look at really quick, as I said, is the dollar and yields. And again, the dollar is just sitting kind of at our level right now. You had the inverted head and shoulders kind of played out for a little bit. You're sitting still above the 200 SMA. So you would like to see the DXY continue to reject at this point and get some downside here. Now, again, the US 30 year yields, this is a big question mark here. You saw that we kind of sat above this. And then over the past basically day or so, you're rejecting at the top of that range near 4.4. That's a good look, but you want to see more weakness incur on yields and push us back down towards 4.2. We saw home sales as well come out today with lower overall pending sales, not beneficial to the market and kind of the cause that what we're looking at here. So again, I encourage patience and I encourage just waiting to see what happens. Because again, when you get rate cuts, this will drop below 4. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And when it does, the market's going to go berserk. But again, you just want to wait, be a little bit patient, especially when we're looking at yields and things along those lines. But if they get above this, it is a cause for concern and definitely something you should be paying close attention to. Now, also, too, I will go over what's happening with oil. Oil, it's kind of basing right now above the 200 SMA. Really weird action. Nasty wicks as well. If oil does bounce, I do think this could be a play for the upside on oil. I'm not going to lie. I think oil, if it stays above 200, it's going to go back up towards 83, 84. And that would be bad for inflation data as well. So definitely keeping an eye on that in the long term as well. Now, again, I do want to go over and switch our narrative here into equities. Okay, equities are our favorite thing to cover here. You guys love them. Number one, hood. I'll just go over hood first because it's like my baby right now. Like I'm just waiting for this thing to rip. Anyways, you got to 16.5. You're just sitting there. You can't really do nothing now. You're just kind of sitting there. So again, we get above 16.5. Next level is around $20. That's what we'll be looking for there. We would like to see us make higher lows and continue to push back over that. That's what we're watching for there. Apple as well. You're just basing at 180. As long as you're above 180, you look halfway decent, but I can't go long until you're back above the 200 SMA. Above the 200 SMA, you're targeting 185, over 185, 187. So again, targets 1 and 2, very, very simple. You get the break and continuation, break, continuation, break, continuation, like just like so. AMD went berserk. There's nothing else to say there. Like I said yesterday's video, you are just mounted clearly above the 174.7 level. You couldn't do anything until you broke below this level, which you never did. We said if you want to go short, you have to wait for the break, the retest, and continuation. Never happened. This morning you came out stronger than ever, above 181, above 184, and the rest is history. You'll love to see it. NVIDIA. I still love NVIDIA. You break down into lows and buyers just push you right back up. It's honestly one of the most incredible things that we've seen. We had a little bit of a downside trade here in Discord earlier today, but then you just mounted back above that level and pushed back up. All you're looking for here on NVIDIA is, it's one of the simplest things, is the break, retest, and continuation over 804. Above 804, I believe you push in all-time highs with ease, and I think you get really illiquid very quickly as well. AVGO. And again, I think it's time to start focusing on these semiconductors. You're still making higher lows out of the gate here, which you can see. Again, you just quickly draw out here. You can see clearly making higher lows. You do have a little bit of a pennant kind of going on here. So I'm not going to just negate that overall. So you can see how that's playing out up here. I would like to see a break above and hold above basically 1310. Above that, I think you can start to push back out with ease. And I do think semiconductors are heating up as well. But above 1295, you got to be bullish already on AVGO. It's been holding up well. Netflix, all you're looking for here is you had the 593 hold. You're making higher lows here as well. You're pushing up. You get a 593 test. Awesome. Long opportunity. Again, I think you have room at like 610, 615. Keep your head on a swivel like the name as well. Microsoft, don't know what the hell I just typed in. If we look at Microsoft as we're playing out, again, it's really simple. We're looking for above 407. We're looking for 410, 413, 415. The end of the day near 413. Above 415, you're looking for all-time high. So right here, I can't really trade it. But what I'd be looking for into tomorrow is just like this, a break, retest, and continuation to the upside into 420, give or take, into these all-time highs. Again, exactly what I'd be looking for above 415.5 roughly. So again, keep that on your watch list as well. One of my favorite names there. Amazon, again, right into our level at 177. We said you mount 175.4. You're pushed into 177. Bingo, bongo. That hit to the T. It was also in the newsletter. You love to see it. Getting continuation, that's what you like to see. We like to see a mount of 177 to get more continuation into 180. Definitely keep that on the top of your list as well. So those are my favorite names right now. The last one I'll go over is going to be Pan W. I still like what Pan W is doing. Again, you kind of had a little bit of a pin kind of established. Again, the long opportunity is above 318. If you get the hold, you had a little bit of a fake out on the day there, but again, like you're kind of just flatlining here at 308. You need to hold this to get a push back up, but again, what you're really looking forward here is the break and retest of 318. Break, retest, continuation. That's what you want to see with that long opportunity at 318. I'm not looking to go short here personally. If you do break below this level right here around 302, you could easily push into 296. Under 296, it could get pretty weak to the downside as well, since you are very involatile all the way down to 283. So I'm not ignoring this, but again, worth mentioning, worth watching. I think the upside is more likely. Definitely keep your head on a swivel. Snowflake. Snowflake reminds me a lot of Pan W. I want to see a touch of the 200 SMA. I'm not going to just be buying randomly here. That's me personally. Maybe the buying opportunity if you break above 190.5, but besides that, I can't really do too much, and I'm not going to get too aggressive. Meta, I can't really do too much here either. You're just sitting above highs, above 488. 0.5, 0.6, you're bullish. But yeah, you can't do nothing up here. You look good. You want to push in the highs, but it is what it is. That's what I'm looking at. That's how I'm trading into tomorrow, and that's what I'm looking for. Have a good one, traders.